What if I told you that the world is slowly preparing for a future without the US dollar? For more than 75 years, the US dollar has controlled global trade like a king. Every major deal, every oil transaction, every global reserve depended on one currency. But now, powerful countries are quietly planning a different future. They are forming alliances, trading without the dollar, and changing the rules. So the big question is the US dollar really losing its power, or is this just fear and hype? To understand this, we need to go back in time. After World War II, the world economy was broken and unstable. Countries needed one strong and trusted currency to rebuild global trade. The United States emerged as the strongest economy with massive gold reserves. That is when the dollar became the center of the global financial system. Slowly, oil trade, international business, and reserves all shifted to the US dollar.
This system gave America something very powerful. As long as the world needed dollars, America stayed in control. The US could borrow cheaply, influence global markets, and impose sanctions. This is what people call dollar dominance. It is not just about money. It is about power, influence, and control. But no system lasts forever. As global power started shifting, some countries began asking uncomfortable questions. Why should global trade depend on one country? Why should sanctions decide who can trade and who cannot? Why should our economies suffer because of another nation's policy? This is where BRICS enters the picture. BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Together, these countries represent more than 40% of the world's population. They control massive natural resources, growing economies, and manufacturing power. Over the last few years, BRICS has been expanding and attracting global attention.
Many people say BRICS is trying to destroy the US dollar, but that is not the full truth. BRICS is not trying to kill the dollar overnight. What they want is an alternative. They want options. They want freedom from overdependence on one currency. Some BRICS countries have already started trading in their local currencies. China and Russia trade without using the dollar. India buys oil using alternative payment methods. New financial systems are being tested quietly. This process is called de-dollarization. It sounds dramatic, but in reality, it is slow and complex. Replacing the dollar is not easy. The dollar is trusted, accepted everywhere, and backed by deep financial markets. The United States still has the world's largest economy. It has powerful institutions, strong military influence, and advanced technology. Global investors trust U.S. markets during crises. That is why even today, when the world feels uncertain, money flows into the dollar.
So no, the dollar is not collapsing tomorrow. There will be no sudden crash or overnight replacement. What is happening is a gradual shift. The world is becoming multipolar. Now, let's talk about why this matters to the USA audience. If dollar dominance weakens, imports can become more expensive. Inflation pressure can increase. America's global influence could slowly reduce. But at the same time, this does not mean America is finished. The U.S. economy is still strong, innovative, and adaptable. Every global shift forces evolution, and America has evolved many times before. There are many myths spreading online. Some say the dollar will be useless next year. Some say BRICS currency will replace the dollar soon. These claims are exaggerated. The reality is more balanced. The dollar will remain powerful for decades, but it may no longer be the only dominant force. Trade will diversify, countries will hedge their risks.
In the future, global trade may not depend on a single king. Instead, multiple currencies will share influence. This could actually create a more stable global system. So when people ask, is the US dollar losing its power? The honest answer is not really, but the world is preparing a backup plan. Power is not disappearing, it is being shared, and history shows that nations who adapt survive. Those who ignore change fall behind. The dollar story is not ending, it is entering a new chapter. The real question is not whether the dollar will fall. The real question is how the world will balance power in the future. So, what do you think? Will the US dollar remain the king of global trade, or will BRICS and other alliances slowly change the rules? Drop your opinion in the comments, because this shift will affect every country, every economy, and every person.